Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Learn New Desire. Thanks for your suggestions and comments on our last video and the wonderful support. We'll start a brand new series about Git and Github with this video. So I'll be dividing this entire playlist in 3 parts. The phase 1 would be about the beginners who haven't heard about Git or you are very new to Git, and the second part will be into medium basics, and the third part will be of more advanced and GitHub best practices. So let's get started without any further ado. In this video, I'll be talking about Git version control and why do you need a version control. I'll plan videos of 3 to 5 minutes, so it will be easy and concise for you to follow along. So let's get started. So what's version control? Version control is a tool which you can use to make your changes trackable. So what do I mean by that? Let's say I'll give you two perspectives. Initially, we'll see how an individual contributor, if you are working for yourself or if you're working on a single team or you are the only developer you work for, and if you want to submit your changes to a client, let's take an example in a freelance. You're working for a client and you started working on a document for the client. In that, you have done all your changes and you have given a final document for the client, and client sends some feedback saying that okay, I need some more changes, and you do those changes and you revert back these changes back to client. And if client is not satisfied with your changes, this cycle will go on. If this loop continues for a while, and you might end up updating the same file again and again. One day client comes back and say, hey buddy, I don't need all this new stuff. I think the initial final version was very good. I want it back. I want the same version. But you don't have any backup till now. So what happens? You might end up to rework everything you need. So it's important to keep backups, and next time you start backing up all your work. But that's not the end of the story. That's actually the beginning of the story. Say you're working on a large project and it has multiple milestones to deliver, and you give changes frequently. Once you have your changes and you start keeping those as backup versions, with the time your project keeps on growing and you start having more than one backup, so you might end up creating something like that. And imagine if you have many more projects files and having to keep all the versions of each file. So how do we avoid this? So here we introduce a version control system like Git, which can keep all your files tracked change. It sees whether any file gets changed and it keeps the track of it. Now how do we do that? And a lot of internals about how do we commit, how do we add a file to track, how do we initiate the Git, and all those stuff we'll talk in the later videos. For this video, let's see how do you install the Git. I'm not going to show the complete setup details. I'll link down few tutorials or articles which will help you, but I'll show all the links where you can go and download Git for your local. So I'll just give you a gist of Git, say, or any version control system per se. So if you have something like this, whether it's local or remote, more on this in the later videos. If you have something like this structure wherein you have all your files stored as a versions and committed into a central repository or a database. Once you have all your versions and say suppose you want to deliver the first version, as we discussed some time back, if you want to deliver the first version, you can easily revert back or come back to this version and say, hey, this is your file. This is not the physical files you save, but it's more of a snapshots, and all those details we'll talk in the later. But for this video, let's see where you can go get and download, install. Head over to gitscm.com/downloads, where you page all the information and documentation about Git. You can visit this for more documentation. We'll be discussing about all this stuff in later videos. But let's quickly get into download section of this page. You can see there are multiple platforms listed down here: Mac OS, Windows, Linux. You can click on Mac OS if you are in Mac OS. That you can do to download Git for Mac OS. If you want to use Windows, you can just click for here and see all the available options you can do. And same goes for Linux or Unix as well. So on this, I'll link few of already available YouTube videos for this in the description below. or let me know if you want to have a complete dedicated video on how to install Git. At least for the Mac platform I can do it. So let me know in the comment section below, or you can DM me in the LinkedIn.